Seems like days and days and days, baby, since I've been live. I got to tell you that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, after my last stream, I took Thursday off and almost all of Friday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Kind of got back to work on the, channel, getting ready for. Hey, guys, how you doing? Michael Noland here. Welcome to the bottom line, and tonight is Tribal Forum number 69, where we're going to be talking about the Beatles and what were the Beatles' very best songs. Boy, I haven't even got started, and we've got who is this one? Royce in the house just sent us a super thanks, baby. It's $20.
Oh,
My
oh,
goodness
that's
gracious,
so
Royce,
sweet.
thank you
Thank you
so
so
much.
much, Roy.
By the way, folks, I will be on Royce's show right after this one. It's going to be a busy night for yours truly. Royce, he isn't from Royce in the House anymore. All right. You guys got to get used to the new name of his channel. He's rebranded the channel. It's called The Four Horsemen. And tonight we're going to be talking about the Beatles over at Royce. We're going to be talking about the Beatles here on the bottom line. Royce and I had no clue about what each other was going to be covering on our channel. So don't tell me that synchronicity ain't a thing, right? Um, I want to thank, first of all, was it Ben that was in? I'll get to you, Ben. I got your super thanks. I want to thank you so much. And the lovely, lovely, where is she? Did boy, I got to you guys so late. Oh, she's still here in the comments. Ben Scheideker's shot up, but he was in early today with a wonderful $5 super thanks. Thank you, Ben. And Rockin' Robin Bird. Now, this is the perfect kind of super thanks. $1. All right. Rockin' Robin Bird, you know what I feel about that. Every dollar helps on this channel. The channel's been going through a tough time these days, right? We're losing subscribers on the back end. It has nothing to do with people just getting tired and fed up with me. Well, maybe part of that, but for the most part, you can tell they're just being taken off indiscriminately. I'm getting complaints about that and everything. And to keep the channel going, you guys have helped out so much. So thank you very much. Now, I was going to say we're going to be talking about the Beatles and what are the Beatles' best and worst songs. Tonight, over at Royce's channel, by the way, the Four Horsemen, we're going to talk about really early Beatles and what was happening
Oh
before
dear, honey.
actual
Oh dear.
Beatlemania.
John C. just came in with a
John C.,
super
thank you so
thanks.
much.
Oh, John,
Oh, that
thank
was
you
wonderful.
so much.
Oh, you're
That is
terrific.
so
$5.
sweet.
He doesn't say anything, baby. He just,
Oh, John,
you know, gave us a
that's
fiver.
so
Thank you so
sweet.
much, brother. Appreciate it.
Oh,
Now, we're going to be talking about the Beatles tonight, though, on this channel instead of the early Beatles. Well, we'll be talking about early Beatles, but it was pretty much after they were known, starting with their first album. And we're going to be talking about the worst and the best songs from each album, okay? And we're going to be ranking them from album to album, not like give them a 10 or anything like that. Let me go over the criteria for tonight's list, okay? So many of you have had already some excellent suggestions of best and worst and everything. And if I don't hit it on with your vibe, okay, please remember this is how I rank them. Now, the Beatles are my number one band of all time. They were the actual first foundation of this channel. Matter of fact, me doing Beatle videos is what changed the channel from a tech oriented channel to a rock channel. When I added Led Zeppelin, baby, the channel went way out from there, and we've covered tons of bands. And if you ever want to know what are the favorite bands from the people, by the way, we got over 30 subscribers in the last 24 hours. So if you're one of the brand new 30 tribalites, welcome aboard. If you see people in here, a lot of these folks will have a wrench next to their name. Okay. So keep that in mind as we go through tonight because those aren't wrenches. I keep telling people those are badges, baby. They are tribal marshals. We don't put up with any tomfoolery here. Uh, you know, there is trolls out there, and if you see any of them tonight, I want you marshals send them right to jail permanently. Okay? I just saw that. Damn the man, just the facts, man. I almost mentioned you when I was covering Royce. Talk about one of the four horsemen, baby. Dan is one of the three permanent horsemen over on the four horsemen. Did you know that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Deuce is wild. My goodness. I saw him. Yeah. Well, let me get to Dan first, Deuce, and I'll get right to you. Let's see. Uh, Hello, Mike. He always includes you. Do you notice that? That is a true Southern gentleman.
Yeah.
I love Southern gentlemen. Hello, Michael and Kimberly and Tribe, watching the show on my phone as I am heading home from the Cowboys Giants game. Oh, man, must have been excited. See you at the Four Horsemen show. I hope you're going to be on, Dan. Yeah, he's on his way. Maybe he's expecting to get there. Always good to hear from you. And, brother, you know what I mean? I say about that. Sometimes Dan and I don't see enough of each other backstage before we're already up, and I don't get a chance to say thank you. But I will right here and right now. Deuce, you're in every week. My God.
Deuce is wild.
What a noble prince. But all of these people so far, they're in every day, you know, or every stream. This is wonderful. Deuce is wild. Picking favorite Beatles songs. Okay, we're back on track. Thank you, Deuce. It's like picking from the stars in the sky. Been a rough week and happy to be with my tribe. Brother, I'm sorry you're going through some tough times or have had a rough week. Uh, I have too. That's why I took 2 full days off the channel. I didn't come to YouTube to do nothing. Was catching up on my Sherlock series. I love Benedict Cumberbatch and Morgan. What's his name? Mor- who plays Doc Watson? What's his name? He's all over the place in the Marvel universe these days.
I can't think of him.
So anyway, I just was been catching up on that. I needed time off, folks, especially after. If you're wondering why, check out my last stream. It's been a rough week. It's been a rough week for all of us, right? And especially for me, my channel is a channel of discourse. I'm going to give you my thoughts tonight. If you guys don't agree with me, that's fabulous. This isn't the final word. This is what's coming out of Michael Noland, who is a lifetime Beatle fan. Well, since I was 9 and they came out. The Beatles taught me everything I know about music. Not that I got to know every song they played and how to play Norwegian Wood, in D, and then, oh, let's try it in the key of E. I like that, and try and do that on acoustic guitar, and I mentioned in my last stream the McCartney album. When it came out, I was 15. I had been playing about a year and a half, and I was just starting to venture into songwriting. And that album and the fact that McCartney recorded it at home on a 4-track, that's my kind of recording, folks. I'm high, I'm lo-fi, hi-fi, baby, right? Yeah, for you new folks out there, I'm also a singer-songwriter. A lot of my demos, and believe me, they're just demos, but they've been featured on my members only. I've got quite a few of those over there. Some of them put together with sticks and stones, right? But they're over there for you to peruse. Okay, so I know what I'm talking about as a musician, as a songwriter, a singer. When I talk about the Beatles in that level, and then I'm just like most of you, I'm just a freaking Beatle fan. Okay, so there is, and you have to keep in mind, here's my disclaimer for tonight, and then we'll go over the criteria. I have 5 criteria here that I want to get focused on. Then we're going to get right into this. All right. The disclaimer is the worst Beatles song was usually better than what? Not all, but most of their contemporaries brought to us. Isn't that
Oh my
interesting?
goodness.
I feel that. Anyway,
Agent
I
Pepsi.
saw that, baby.
Oh, thank you so
The
much,
divine
Pepsi.
Agent
Oh,
Pepsi.
that's so
You
sweet.
know, I'm not going to use your real name again, Agent. You're going to have to let me know
Oh my
because I just assumed
Eric is
to
split
using
just
your real
came in
name,
with the
the other
super
stream,
thanks too.
that would be okay with you. And
Oh,
then I
thank
thought
you so
about that.
much.
But you're divine either
Eric is
way
split.
and very critical. You know,
Oh,
Agent Pepsi just speaks her mind.
yes, he does.
Michael Boswell and I will kind of, we'll jaunt back and forth. And she's just like, I don't need a fighter, man. I just got an opinion. Have you ever noticed that
Yeah.
about her?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I really appreciate everything she has to say. Whether I agree with it or not, it's always so well thought out.
Oh, yeah.
Let's see, and I'll prove my point here. She's never disappointed me. I haven't even
No.
read her comment yet, baby, and I'll bet you it's quite prolific. Let's see. My all-time favorite Beatles song is Sergeant Pepper's Reprise, I think is what she's saying. As an honorary
And they,
Gen X girl, you know how we are with being affected by others' opinions. No, you. I think you're opinion impervious, Agent Pepsi. Right? I think you're like me. You're willing to learn, but you got to bring me something. You want to change my mind? You got to give me something, right? Because my mind has been made up with a lot of thought and intent over the years. Okay. And I have an opinion, and that's what this is all about. If any of you folks have a problem with that, a guy having an opinion on a channel where he welcomes you, as long as you're respectful, to disagree with me all you want. All right. That's what I supply. And nowadays, that's not exactly what is being offered or encouraged anymore. And that's a shame. Because over here, the tribe, we're from the left, we're from the right. Some of us are Christians, some of us have no religious affiliations whatsoever. Some of us don't even believe in God. That's that's not the way, that's not the universe according to Garp or Michael. That's a freaking fact. And I've always realized that on the planet. Each and every one of you have a very good reason to believe what you believe, as do I. And so I start the conversation, and we're going to get right into this after I do a couple of super thanks because I have to get to that. If I go a little over, that's fine. I'll go right up to Royce's starting time if I have to. I know. I got to see Irga splitting. Yeah, yeah. Kimber, see, I'll tell you, Gear Jet. Oh, I mentioned his secret identity again, baby.
He is always on the chat.
Isn't he? Oh God, what a
Always.
supporter too, huh?
He's such an amazing supporter.
Yeah, yeah,
Thank
yeah, he
you,
is.
Ergus Flitton.
But the whole point is the way the world's been going lately. This has been a tough week for it. That's exactly why I had to take some time off. I've been an angry, angry man. Anyone willing to use violence to shut down free discourse sucks to high heaven to me. Bet you I lost a few right there. But those are the intolerant. Oh my goodness. And look at this one. I'll get to you, Gary Splitting. I just want to. Oh my goodness. Are you there? It's been a while, brother. Look at this. I can't even give this a thumbs up. He just sends this one. What is this? Kid's got what? A vase? And gives it a smack. It hops up to him and he grabs it and gives it a great big hug. I love it. $20. Thank you so much, are you? I appreciate it. And Irga splitting in, let me give you a thumbs up, swinging the sawbuck hammer. Now, Deuce, I thought we agreed to call it swinging the deuce hammer, right? I don't know. Sawbuck's pretty good too, baby. What do you think?
Yeah, oh, I think so.
Swinging the sawbuck hammer.
Yeah.
Yeah. On good days, if my tongue and teeth work, I don't want to come up swinging the thawbuck hammer.
Yeah.
That wouldn't work because someone would think I was saying thong buck hammer. Oh, then we'd be in a whole lot of trouble, right? Thank you so much. He says, Michael, an idea for a stream, question and answer session where we throw classic rock questions at you. Salute to the tribe. You know, I've thought of that in the past. I'm going to take that under heavy consideration. Now, by the way, I'm not a rock and roll expert. I know what I know, and that's what it is. And if you got a question for me, I don't have an answer. I'm just the man to man up to the fact I don't have a clue about this band or that particular song or a version of this song. Or did you hear about this? Yeah, you call yourself a Beatle fan, Michael? You know, that kind of thing. But yeah, I like that. I like that idea. Maybe a special extra stream on a week that I can get the gumption up for it. You know, just kind of, come out of the blue, that type of thing. I should keep my mouth shut if I was going to try and surprise them, darling. But I'm not,
Yeah.
am I? Uh, anyway, I always shout out those who give us these wonderful super thanks. The last stream. It's my way of saying a final thank you. Every one of these have gotten a shout out the night they gave it to us, which was on Wednesday, last Wednesday. God, that seems like 2 weeks ago.
Are you there? You know, the one who just gave us the super thanks?
Uh huh.
He says they're talking about one of my favorite bands of all time. Me and my mom used to listen to the Beatles all the time.
Oh my God.
Oh, that's awesome.
Oh,
Good taste.
are you there? Yeah, yeah.
Very good taste.
It sounds like you're a bit younger than me.
Hmm.
And I loved second and third generation, fourth, wherever we're up to. Any Beatle fans a okay with me, but some Beatle fans get really touchy,
Oh my
right?
goodness, hon.
I saw that.
Rock and Robin Bird just came in with another super
Oh
thanks. Thank you
goodness
so
gracious! Oh,
much.
thank you, Rock and Robin.
Oh,
I've had some great discussions with her on my latest video.
yeah.
On my last stream, it wasn't a happy stream, and it was the day that a horrible thing happened here in the United States. And I was not up for it, and I knew I wasn't going to get a big crowd. Well, still, what did we manage to get? 60 something,
Yeah,
you
something
know,
like that.
and which isn't the worst, audience in the world to work with and everything. And so with that, it wasn't, I think it was right at 900 yesterday, and it finally tipped to 1,000 views on my last stream. Usually my streams will easily get about 1.2 all the way up to 4, 5,000, 6,000. I think I got one stream that hit 6,000 views. All right. Not bad for little old me, right? And
Hey, we're the tribe.
yeah, but anyway, I just wanted to let you know. I'm going to read this in a second here, Rock and Robin. Uh, I took 19 minutes and edited portions out of that 19 to make it kind of into a video, as I've been wanting to do. People who have been asking me why I haven't done directly dedicated videos anymore. I really miss those. People quit coming to watch those. All right. And so I'm focusing all my energies. You'll still get those. As a matter of fact, it's 19 minutes.
Oh my goodness.
I see that. Oh, good Lord. Are you there?
Oh, thank you. Oh,
Oh, and
Deuce is Wild came in.
oh, good Lord. I got to stop talking and read these so I can get on to tonight's subject.
Oh,
I hope you're all going to love me when I'm done with my list. Okay. You can't talk, you cannot criticize the Beatles with some Beatle fans. That's what I was going to say. Oh my goodness. Rock and Robin Bird, let me read. The song Eleanor Rigby is very touching and speaks to how many are forgotten in life. There are so many good Beatles songs, it's hard to choose one. Eleanor Rigby will be coming up tonight. Longtime viewers know that's my all-time favorite Beatles song. Uh, for those of you who are going to go, oh, he's one of those McCartney freaks. Let me let you know. Yes, the song was predominantly by Paul, but everybody and the kitchen sink had their turn in writing the lyrics of that song. It was very much a group effort. So even though, what was it? It's mainly just Paul singing and the Beatles coming in with ah harmonies. It's very light touch as far as any other Beatles being on it, but it's so Beatle. And Rockin' Robin Bird, what you say here. When I first heard, this is why it's my favorite song. I cried when I first heard that song because I heard the truth in it. We're all islands, aren't we?
Yeah,
And we're all searching for connections,
it hit you in the soul.
you know, a soul to soul connection, you know. Some of us find it on a spiritual level, some of us find it by finding the love of your life, like I did with Kimberly, right? She's the female half of me. We discuss everything together. We fight over things together, right? And yet, never, even if she thoroughly disagrees with me, do I ever think I'm sparring with an unarmed opponent. Okay, I married either my equal or my better in many areas. She's a lot nicer person than I am, folks. Anyway, it is hard to choose one, Rock and Robin. Are you there in with a wonderful $5 super thanks? Oh, he came in with one. Ha ha ha. He's happy tonight, baby.
I know.
Oh, thank you so much, are you? And Deuces Wild. Oh my goodness. $5. And he says, let me give you a thumbs up. Uh, love Sherlock too. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Martin, yeah. Martin Freeman. Thank you. I wanted to say, what was it? Yeah, I was almost going to name the black actor, Morgan, because I was using Morgan Freeman. Morgan, and I didn't get to that, right? Did you catch that? Oh, yeah. I've watched that series all the way through at least 10 times. This has got to be my 10th time. Very well written. Oh, my God. Top notch.
Oh my goodness.
You know?
Are you there? Just came in with another.
Oh, my goodness. Are you there? Oh, look at this.
So
And the same laughing. He's happy. You know what this is? He's saying, "You damn right, I'm happy," because I had mentioned how happy he is tonight. And keep that in mind when I get to my list, because I'm going to mention some worse songs here, right? Keep that in mind. I love the Beatles, and most of these songs, the vast majority of the worst songs I choose tonight, I wouldn't want off any album. Okay, probably that I probably don't want any of them off of an album, but there are moments that are less delicious for me than other moments on any Beatle album, including, well, I'm going to keep my mouth shut till I get there. Thank you so much. Are you there? Deuces Wild says, love Sherlock. Martin Freeman, I almost called him Morgan Freeman, is a great Watson. What a great actor. I could go with you forever with that show alone. The Fellowship is strong. Oh, absolutely. Top notch entertainment, top notch. Oh, and the actress, I forget her name, Deuce, who played uh, um, Mrs. What's the name of the housekeeper? God,
oh my goodness.
it's always a. Oh God, I see. My mind is geared toward Beatles tonight, and I've read all of the Sherlock Holmes novels. I still to this day rewatch Basil Rathbone, right? Nigel Bruce movies, as well as oh God, what's his name? From the Hammer films, who played him. Yeah, I'm just a big Sherlock Holmes fan in general. I liked the CBS show, which was also an updated version of it. I like with Basil Rathbone, the first two movies were set in the 1800s, and then World War II came along, and blam, he's all of a sudden updated to the modern times. Yeah, modern times, they go back 80 years now, by the way. So now even that version of Sherlock Holmes is dated. Okay, so I wanted to get through these super thanks. Last time we got a $3 super thanks from Greg Rupp, Agent Pepsi 1, a $5 super thanks, Natalie Angelo with $3. Thank you so much, Natalie. Michael Boswell, always in, man. $5, Irga Splitting, always in, all these people, except for Greg. That was the first time I'd seen him. So we're always welcoming new people into the fold. Deuces Wild with a $10 super thanks. Irga Splitting in with a $2. No, Deuces Wild in with a $10 super thanks. Irga Splitting, which won't be the last time I'll be mentioning either one of these guys, in with a $2 super thanks. Just the Facts Man with a $10 super thanks. The Four Horsemen. Thank you, Royce. $10 super thanks and a 20 tonight. Oberheim, $3 super thanks. Deuces Wild, again, with a $2 super thanks. Uh, Chris Barlow, $5 super thanks. Hey, by the way, Brendan, I hope you're doing fine. I hope you're watching tonight. Just the Facts Man. It's already Monday morning where Brendan is. He's from down under, right? And a goodly good day to you, sir. Just the Facts Man in with another $5 super thanks. Michael Boswell again with a $5 super thanks. Deuces Wild again with a $20 super thanks. Michael Boswell again with a $5 super thanks. Ben Scheidecker tonight gave us a $5 super thanks. Just the Facts Man, $10 last Wednesday. Again, Deuces Wild with a $20 super thanks. Irger Splitting Laden Boomer with a $20 super. See what I mean, folks? And Rockin' Robin Bird, yeah, all right, with a $2 super thanks. Irger Splitting Loudon Boomer with a $2 super thanks. All right, so that gets us on to tonight's show. And like I said, if I have to go over the 6 o'clock uh, time zone, I will, even if it means I get up late to Royce. Yeah, I'm sure Royce will throw me a line and I can get on there. I don't plan that being a problem. I still plan on being right there at 6:30 with Royce tonight. Let's see how it goes. All right, here's my criteria for the list tonight. Must be an original song by the Beatles themselves, no cover. So you're not going to get Money as a best song or Twist and Shout. You're just not going to get those tonight. It must be an actual song. So you're not going to get a Revolution, number 9, or Flying for Magical Mystery Tour. The song must be at least 1 minute in length. So you're not going to get Can You Take Me Back Where I Came From? You're just not going to get that from the White Album, okay, when we get to the White Album. And it must at least have a solid chorus and verse, right? A recognized song format. All right, so you're not going to be getting Tomorrow Never Knows for that very reason, and it's a masterpiece. Tonight, we're ranking their songs. And tonight, I won't be ranking any of their singles. That's coming up on a future, if not my very next stream, folks. Okay? We're not going to be ranking their singles unless the single is in contention by being on one of their 13 albums. So we're not going to be ranking any compilation albums. We're just going to go from Please Please Me to Abbey Road. Now, some of you may be thinking, don't you mean Let It Be? Let It Be was released later, but also recorded before Abbey Road. I always say Abbey Road is the Beatles' last album, and we'll be covering both those albums tonight. Okay, so once again, I'll make this disclaimer one more time. This is only my opinion. The worst Beatles song was usually better than what? Not all, but most of their contemporaries. See, I wrote it down, folks. I can read it. Okay. So that's how we're coming up on this list. If you got a better list, I'm all ears. And this is all going to be connected to a major poll that I'm about ready to put out. So, baby, when you start seeing people putting up their best and worst, take some screenshots of that if you would. Okay.
Okay.
All right, because I want your input in on all of this too. It's going to be almost impossible for me to get to you guys tonight with the limited time I have to cover this. All right, Wednesdays I can go longer on Wednesdays if I choose to go beyond the hour, right? And have on several occasions. I've gone 90 minutes and well over 2 hours on Wednesdays, but on Sundays I just have a limited time. Okay, let's see. I've got all of that. You guys know we have merch. I'm behind the eight ball here. We have tribal mugs available. All you have to do is click the title there, and a link to the tribal store is right there. Get your own. I'm still trying to figure a best way for you guys to send me some photos of your mugs with your mug. I'd like to get some of those and then put that as an ending. You know, most of my videos I end with me playing my guitar in the backyard. I on special videos I could put a collage of that running out and extend the run out on future videos. So anyway, those are available. All right, so that gets us to, we're going to start with their first album, and then we're going to just go on up. All right. Please Please Me, and what, 42 other songs by anyway, Please Please Me album.
Oh
Okay.
my goodness.
Oh yeah.
David L.
Well, I'm glad I caught this before I really got going. Oh my goodness, David L. It's
Oh, David.
oh,
That is
sweet
so
man.
sweet.
$60 super thanks. Thank you,
Oh,
brother.
David L.
Wow. Who does this guy think he is? Storm Cop?
Yeah.
Yeah, is Storm Cop in the comments,
No,
baby?
not tonight.
Oh,
Not
man.
tonight.
Oh, that's too bad. I do want to get to this though. Hey, Michael and Kimberly, how's it going? Hey, it's going good. We've had a good day today, haven't we, baby?
Yes, we have.
Yeah. Been a while since I gave anything, and I've been a faithful Sunday
Oh.
viewer all along, even though I haven't chatted that much lately. David, I know people get busy. I just mentioned Storm Cop, you know, and Storm Cop will usually catch up with me and reviews of my streams and stuff when he can. But all of you guys are busy, and I understand that. You just don't even know how good it feels to actually have 60 of you watching right now,
Oh.
okay? Uh, and taking time, especially this week. That's all I can say. Look at this. This is wonderful. What else did he say here? So figured it was high time to give again. Keep up the great work. Thank you so much, David. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, yeah.
Have a wonderful day.
Favorite name of my wife, our oldest son. It's actually her son, but I'm his stepfather. Is David. So she likes the
Yeah.
name David,
I
right?
love the name
Yeah.
David.
My closest brother to me is David also. All right, so let's get on with this list. Let's get down to business here, folks. Please Please Me. All right. Now, the better tunes on here would have to be uh, a toss up for me is I saw her standing there. I mean, what a rocker. With John rewriting that piece or at least suggesting another line, you know what I mean. What turned a song that would have started off with she was just 17, never been a beauty queen, into she was just 17. You know what I mean. Turned it into really grown up lyrics, and I've loved it ever since. And there's a place. One of John's, uh, you know, uh, in My Room by Brian Wilson, and There's a Place have a lot of connections. And as far as songwriting goes, those would be my top two contenders. The worst of, and once again, see my disclaimer prior. The worst cuts on the album for me would be, I try to give you two, right? Would be, but the album is so packed with good stuff. I'll just have to say, Love Me Do and Love Me Do. Okay. Never cared for it. A lot of hoopla over that song, and I just never cared. Oh, but you don't understand. See, it's John's song, but he couldn't get to the mic in time, and so Paul had to get up there and do it. Yeah, okay, all right, I understand. It's a great story how they put this recording together, and once again, "Love Me Do" is better than a lot of what their contemporaries were putting out at the time. But if there is a weak song, especially out of all the Beatles solos, singles, certainly would be Love Me Too. Okay. So once again, the song is on the album, whether it was a single or not, it doesn't matter. It gets rated, right? Other songs that are not on Beatle albums, the 13, that'll be on a future show. Keep that in mind. Okay, that gets us to With the Beatles. All right, that second album coming out. And this was real easy for me to pick my two favorites. All right. All My Lovin', absolutely smacking. Oh, man. I could go on. I could do an entire 15-minute video on All My Loving. But, right along there, It Won't Be Long. That the statement answer, the statement answer. It won't be long. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Love it, love it. What a groove. The worst songs on it for me would be either Hold Me Tight. Yeah. All right. Again, better than a lot of what was coming out, by other bands at the time, still more interesting than the usual stuff. And Little Child. Okay. Probably Little Child is one of two or maybe three songs on this list that come real close to, never cared for it. I don't care, even if it is the Beatles. But it's not quite there. All right. And again, I don't turn it off when I listen to a Beatle album. It's all to be absorbed as a masterpiece, right? So that's my bent on With the Beatles. That gets us to Hard Day Night. And this was the first most impossible decision to make. There are Beatle albums and then there are Beatle albums. And Hard Day's Night is the Beatles' very first masterpiece. 10 songs, 13 cuts, 10 songs written by John Lennon, 3 by Paul McCartney, and it's the only Beatle album by the Beatles that have nothing but Lennon and McCartney material. Okay, so it holds that distinction as well. And my top two would either be A Hard Day's Night, those chords. What is that chord? Chester, what is that chord? Never heard a chord like that before, right? And Can't Buy Me Love, man, which sounds as fresh today as it did back in 1963. What a powerful, powerful McCartney tune. When it comes to the two losers, I couldn't find two losers. I'll give you one that maybe I'm just not hyperly delighted with. But again, this is a near perfect album. Okay. I guess I'm happy just to dance with you, maybe. You know, what a magnificent album. It's so hard to choose the worst song off this album, but mainly because other songs cover so many either sonic territories or lyrical territories over I'm happy just to dance with you. So it was like, I guess I'll give you something. All right. That brought us to Beatles for Sale. Okay, not one of my favorite Beatle albums, although there is some wonderful stuff there. It doesn't rank high. When I did my Beatle rankings, I think it was second to the last on that ranking as far as Beatle albums go. And that was second to the last to Yellow Submarine, which had 6 songs, 4 if you really want to get down to it, right? 4 songs on an album. We'll get to that in a minute. So, but it does have 8 days a week, you know? It does have 8 days a week. It does. And there is also some wonderful what uh Babies in Black, right? There's some wonderful stuff there, but they go down that neck of the woods for far too long. What the first 3 songs are kind of like that. So, but they're important to the development that led to things like hide your love away, things like that. So this was at a point when the Beatles were stretching their legs and everything, still relying far too heavily on covers on the album, and it's not my least favorite Beatle album, but my second least favorite Beatle album. Great cover. Band looks tired. I bet you've heard that 1,000 times. And they do, droopy eyed kind of stuff. I always looked at that. I just go, they probably woke up at about 6 in the morning and had to be out for an early photo shoot. That was my whole bent on that. Now, Help is impossible to come up with only two best ofs. And as soon as I do this, because You Gotta Hide Your Love Away is not one of the best of that I picked here. And I picked three, but I think you'll understand why. And that is nearly a perfect song right there. All right. They went to too many covers again, and but wow, what a transitional album this was for them. I'd have to give it a toss up between Help, Ticket to Ride, and Yesterday. All right, those are magnificent songs. And as far as the worst, I'd give it You Like Me Too Much. Sorry, Georgie. Uh, it's not one of his worst songs. He'll be on a worse list here later. uh, that is even less of a song. This, like I said, a lot of these worst are decent songs in themselves. And the second one would be "Tell Me What You See." Never did much for me. I know the history of it, but that would be my choice off this album, out of what the Beatles wrote. Now, then came Rubber Soul. Now, all of you know Rubber Soul is my favorite Beatle album, and this is nearly impossible. Of course, we've got, like I said before, Tomorrow Never Knows is out of the running because it doesn't fit the criteria. So, with that in mind, and what Rockin' Robin Bird was it? Rockin' Robin Bird who mentioned Eleanor Rigby, baby?
I think it was.
I think so
I'm
too.
not sure,
Anyway, what she was saying is that it's a wonderful song. That's my favorite Beatles song. So of course, that's going to be one of the two songs that I'm going to pick off of Rubber Soul, and or not Eleanor Rigby. Right? We're still on Rubber Soul. What am I doing? Sorry, folks. Okay, we'll rewind. We're on Rubber Soul. John, what a magnificent job he did in writing this. My favorites on this is Nowhere Man, Norwegian Wood. Close seconds would be Run for Your Life. I'm never going to apologize for liking that song. That's what every man feels. It's a song of feelings. Get over it. Good Lord. That song has been ditched. You know, ugh. So anyway, yeah, I love that song. And Wait, I love Wait, right? The worst song, there's only one. There's really only one. And this is one of those few songs that I almost would just wish wasn't on the album. But history has been established, and of course, that's what goes on. It just doesn't do it for me. And that's one that's even credited to Lennon and McCartney and Starr. Uh, Starr later, excuse me, I've got a tickle. Starr later said, actually, I threw in a couple of words or phrases that they even rewrote. So I didn't do a lot of writing on it. And it's a throwaway Beatles song to me. Okay, very substandard. I've never cared for it. Now, if you guys love that song, more power to you. Maybe you're right and I'm wrong. All right. So anyway, that's what I think of Rubber Soul. Then we were going to get into Revolver. Of course, I was talking about Yellow Submarine errantly, or Eleanor Rigby errantly, and Eleanor Rigby and She Said are my two top favorite songs on this album. And I got to tell you, it's another one of those nearly perfect albums. And if I'm pushed to shove, I guess the weaker songs for me would be And Your Bird Can Sing. I can hear it already. I'm going to get hammered here, baby. And Dr. Robert. Okay. Uh, and there are some wonderful spots in those songs. But traditionally, those would be the low end. The low end. They're great songs. They're great songs. I mean, we're talking about freaking Revolver here. But if I had to make a call, I think every other song on that album, I guess you could make an argument the Yellow Submarine isn't all that great, you know. Um, except that I'm all into the history of it, how it was written, some of the things that have come out lately where we found out it's not just a McCartney song. It was written by McCartney and Lennon. Okay. And all the special effects, it just holds a, a special place in my heart. And, I was never crazy about it, you know. It's a kid song. I've never, even when I was a kid, I wasn't interested in kid songs. I wanted to hear like teenage songs, man. I was 9, and my favorite song at one point was "This Diamond Ring" by Gary Lewis and the Playboys. Man, that's what at 9 years old. This diamond ring doesn't mean what it meant before. That whole thing. So yeah, that's got a piece of my heart. So that's why I would have to, if I had pushed to shove, give you those two Lennon tunes as being the weakest cuts and songs on the album. That gets us to Sergeant Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band. Of course, A Day in a Life. Were you worried? My favorite Harrison song is on this album, Within You, Without You. I'm a martial artist. I meditate to this song, okay? I go places with this song. I love this song. So that would be my second favorite. Also, it's interesting. The song Sergeant Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band, the first cut of that to me is so so. But the reprise kicks ass. And that's the way the album should have. Well, anyway, all right. I know why it's there at the end and everything, but it's a great song, right? The weakest song on Sergeant Pepper, uh, well, poor Lennon, once again. Good morning, good morning. Never cared for it from the first time. It fits in again with the album. You expect it. Got to go through that. All right. This animal eats that animal. This animal doesn't eat that animal. And that animal has nothing to do with any of the explanation on the song. Lennon wrote it in a heartbeat when he heard the old Kellogg's commercial we all grew up with, right? Good morning. Good morning. Right? Okay. So that's what he did. So that never did much with me. And I'm not a big fan of With a Little Help from My Friends. Never have been. Now, these two songs fit so well when you're listening to the album. All right. They're like a breath you take while anticipating better stuff. Okay. Good morning. Good morning. We're waiting for what? A day in the life. Right? And with a little help from my friends, we're really waiting to get to Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds, fixing a hole, getting better. You know, uh, she's leaving home. Henry the horse dances the waltz. I mean, that's what we're waiting for. This stuff is just a warm up, and I always saw it as that. But Joe Cocker did a great version of this song. I understand that. His singing is magnificent, but I to be honest with you, never really cared for the Joe Cocker version. I'm just not a big fan of the song. It fits within the confines of Sergeant Pepper. It's essential to Sergeant Pepper, but just as hey baby, would you turn on, with a little help from my friends? Has that ever come across my lips, babe?
No.
No, no, not once.
Not
Not
much.
once. She says it, folks. Okay. So it's not one of my favorite Beatles tunes, although it's important to the album and it fits real well
Yep.
within the album. Magical Mystery Tour. John fares very well on this one. I Am the Walrus, my second favorite Beatle track of all time, and certainly one of my top 5 Beatle tracks, Strawberry Fields Forever. John reigns supreme. The worst, Blue Jay Way, which is not one of George Harrison's worst songs by far, but I had to pick I had slim pickings. This is a great album. I listen to this album more often than I listen to Sergeant Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band. And All You Need Is Love. Okay. Now, and the reason I chose that, it's not like I don't like it. I never turn it off if it's on the radio, but it's not on my playlist of favorite Beatles songs. And I do have a playlist like that, right? First of all, it's not their most creative song. I know a lot of you go, Woody, all you need is love. It'll
Hey, honey.
save the world of all its
Hey,
problems. Yeah, the
honey.
message may. Yeah, baby.
Jersey Devil says, tell Michael you asked to hear it March 8th, 1999, just to see what he says.
March 8th,
Yeah, 1999. That
tell Michael you asked
1999.
to hear it March 8th, 1999, just to
Wow.
see what he says.
Wow.
March 8th,
That
1999.
was just a few months before Rachel was born.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, maybe I wasn't aware of what was happening in the music
Did he
business,
work
buddy.
at was
I had a very pregnant wife at
did
that
he
point.
work at that place in Kitahati? What was it called?
Zone Music.
Zone Music,
Zone
maybe?
Music. Yeah, I used to. Well, I camped out there just to get away from, you know, give you time to feed the
That's cool.
baby.
Yeah. With a
Uh,
little help from a friend.
uh, let me know more. Tiger Rod. Oh God, Frank
Jersey
Walton's in.
Devil.
Tiger Rogers. Tiger goes way back. Me and Tiger, we've been talking a good 3 years at least, right, Tiger? Yeah. Okay, so anyway, I said it's not that, first of all, it started on dun 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 dun. Well, they didn't write that, right?
Yeah.
I think I heard that once when I was in France, baby.
Yeah.
What? I never been to France, you say?
Yeah.
In my dreams. And the big hook is all you need is love, and of course, you've got na na na, you know.
Yeah.
Sounds a whole lot like Three Blind Mice to me.
Yeah.
Same exact notes. So it's still a wonderful track, right? It's great. It's great. It's fine. And when like I said, I listened to this out. Actually, this year I've listened to Magical Mystery Tour more than any other Beatle album. Just been in a kind of a groove for it. Maybe even 18 months. Love that album. Bought two separate versions of it. Okay, so that got us to the White Album. Now I've already told you what not to expect. You're not gonna get take me back. Can you take me back where it came from? You're not gonna get Revolution number 9 as the worst songs on this album, and there are so many songs on this album that deserve to be the best. I can think of Julia. You know, what a what a wonderful song. Happiness is a warm gun. Oh my God. Three different songs in one, a whole suite of songs. John doing that, Usually we'd see Paul writing that way. Not true with that track. So these are all strong contenders. For me, though, George Harrison rules the roost while my guitar gently weeps. Eric Clapton on the solo that emulates crying, right? It's not his best technical solo. I can show you a zillion other Eric Clapton solos that are better, but not Eric Clapton was writing that solo to emote the weeping aspects of that song. It has to be my favorite. And here's one that a lot of you I know are going to disagree on, but it's my second favorite song on the album. It may even tied with While My Guitar Gently Weeps. That's Helter Skelter.
Oh, dear Prudence.
Love Helter Skelter. Dear Prudence, wonderful. God, one of John Lennon's very best. Uh, it's hard to say. When I think of John on his output, I could easily say, wow, he dominates on this album. But then Paul writes an equal amount. They're 50-50. If you include Can You Take Me Back Where I Came From, and Came From, and Revolution number 9, But if you look at all of Paul's output, well, this is some of his strongest stuff too, right? So those would be my top two. The worst for me is one of these I have to pick because double album, I better get at least two. For me is Don't Pass Me By. I will. Never cared for the song. Fiddle playing's decent, but you got to endure the song. And that's why I didn't follow Ringo's solo career. He had some great singles, and uh, what you think he wrote, George Harrison probably wrote. Okay. And then he does a lot of covers and things like that by other people. People give him songs. Just never was interested in his solo career. But Ringo as a Beatle, wow. And Octopus Garden by him ranks pretty high for me. Although, again, there's an argument that's mainly a George Harrison song, which gives George Harrison actually three songs from Abbey Road. Okay, next up, Yellow Submarine. Boy. Okay, again, uh, you've got to come up with two, and you got to come up with two. Best and worst. This is only four songs to pick. We got All You Need Is Love with Magical Mystery Tour. That's the way I think that's where it belongs. But here it is again. So, uh, that's not even on the list. And neither is Yellow Submarine because it was on Revolver. And so, once again, the fact they're just jam packing this one side, the side two being George Martin compositions, and I'm not taking them into consideration for a couple of reasons. First of all, he's not a Beatle writing the songs, and second of all, uh, he's not writing songs. He's writing arrangements, orchestrations on the second side. So he didn't meet the requirements. So that leaves two songs that are the best, and the best song on the album is so clear. It's absolutely Hey Bulldog. That's the only reason I buy the album, okay, is because it's got a Hey Bulldog on it. And I guess if you're really forgiving, the next best song is All Together Now. Yeah, you know. I mean, it's a ditty, it's catchy. If you're in the mood and in the groove, certainly a lot more interesting than It's All Too Much or Only a Northern Song. Those are the two weak spots. George Harrison writes more original material for this album than either John or Paul, unfortunately. But when I'm in the mood, I love these songs. And It's Only a Northern Song at least has very, very witty lyrics. So I'm uncomfortable, but I had to pick two. So it's the last. It almost didn't make the list. And like I said, when interested in hearing these songs, that's the only reason is I've got to be interested in hearing George's stuff along with Hey Bulldog. Then I I guess I somehow survive All You Need Is Love and Yellow Submarine and you know uh, all together now. All right, but that's a weird album, and it is also my least favorite Beatle album of all time, with just microscopic reasons as to why to buy it, as far as I'm concerned. Number 12, album 12 would be Let It Be, only I'm gonna cheat a little here tonight, folks. Bet they didn't expect that, baby.
Yeah.
I'm cheating.
Yes.
I have an ace up my sleeve tonight.
I just got a notification that the Four Horsemen is coming out.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah, because it's a half hour before. That's when it's gone. Okay.
I was just saying.
All right.
I owe it to everybody.
Yeah, it's getting time where Warhorse has got to make an appearance, huh?
Yep.
I'm thinking of changing that to War Stallion. What do you think, baby? Huh?
Well, you can do that if you want.
Yeah? War Stallion. Episode 5. Anyway, yeah, but that's a good reminder. By the way, I'm going to sign off here. I'm going to cover these last two albums, and then I'll tune out, cool this place down. It's been a bit warm today. We may have even hit 90 today, but it's upper 80s definitely. Not as bad as it's been. So I should be right up there. Okay, folks. So keep that in mind. All right. So I'm cheating. Like I said, I'm going to include Let It Be Naked. All right. I prefer Let It Be Naked. I know the criticism. They artificially inseminated John Lennon's voice with something. I know. I know. That pisses me off too. But it is my favorite version of this album. And like I said, I had an ace up my sleeve, folks. It's got Don't Let Me Down. because Don't Let Me Down and The Long Winding Road to me are my very favorite songs on this album. An album that has Let It Be, Get Back, The Two of Us, Across the Universe, although I like the acoustic version better. And if that had been on here, that would have been a contender, right? There's a lot of great shit on Let It Be, even the regular version. And yet some people say, "Oh, that's the Beatles with their pants pulled down." I don't think so at all. I think it's fine. It does have a couple of cuts that are less than stellar. My first pick for worst Beatles song on this album, if I'm in a progressive mind, I kind of dig it. All right. But most of the time when I'm listening to the Beatles, I'm not on in that progressive state of mind. If I'm in that state of mind, I'm listening to the Yes, yeah, or the Yes. I'm listening to Yes albums, right? Or Pink Floyd, something like that, or even Led Zeppelin has been known to get progressive. But that would be, of course, Dig a Pony. It's a hard pill to swallow for me. And then that leaves, basically, it's between the two George Harrison tunes. And I've got to pick For You Blue. And it's a wonderful blues ditty. It's a 12-bar blues. And the reason I'm choosing it, I love it. I love it. But it's the easiest thing for him to, I mean, 12-bar blues, you know, a melody that kind of goes along with that. And it's very, very good. It's just that uh, I mean, mine is a much better thing. Now, it wasn't at first. It may not have even had enough length in its original version, but with some help from Paul McCartney, George rewrote. They inserted a middle eight in there. That's that part with "I me mine." That was all Paul McCartney's idea. Need to lengthen the song, make it album worthy. And out of the two George offerings, that's absolutely written in waltz time. Wonderful song. I love the whole kind of I, me, mine.
Hey, hon.
Awesome concept. Yeah,
Austin
baby.
Dawson wanted me to tell you that he's seeing Paul this November.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
You let me
Not
know
Brett.
how he's sounding and everything,
Yeah.
right? Because I'll be watching from afar. His tickets are two. Wow, he must be in pretty decent shape, or he has sold a firstborn to get to go see Paul. I hear his tickets are so high. As a matter of fact, they're selling slow. Now, that information goes back about a week and a half. Maybe things have picked up, right? I've seen Paul three times, well, twice, paid to see him a third time and sent my son in my stead because I got ill, right? And I saw him at the Cow Palace in '76. What a wonderful freaking, my favorite concert of all time. And I've got some really big concerts I've been at that I love. The Who, right? The famous concert where Keith Moon passed out. I've seen Queen twice. I've seen Yes. These are concerts that God they bored into my soul, right? But my favorite's got to be Paul McCartney and Wings, right? What a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful show. Okay, so that gets us to our final album of the night, Abbey Road. How can you find this is the perfect album, baby? How am I going to find a best? I mean, a best. There's so many great songs on here to choose two.
You're the ultimate Beatle fan.
I'm the ultimate Beatles.
Yes, you are.
I don't know. Some of these folks are gonna. They're probably some of them all foaming at the mouth as it is. Have you been taking screenshots of people's
yes,
joy? Good, good. Because a major poll is coming out of this, folks. Yep. This is a multi-part poll. I really want to hear because I've given you my thoughts on this. Okay.
Yeah.
I want before this is over, you're gonna make the final list. This is just me throwing my list at you. I always demur to the tribe on important decisions. So this is only part one. Okay. There's a part two that comes with this. Then we go get busy, right? And this will be a multi-part, multi-day poll. So be on the lookout for it. It's a coming. That gets us to Abbey Road, the perfect album. What am I going to do? The best? Well, okay. See, you've got so many fantastic cuts on here. I'm not going to pick um, Here Come Old Flat Top because there's a lot of ripoff on that song, and there's so much other great stuff. Uh, I Want You is a great Lennon track, but it doesn't quite come up to the level of Here Comes the Sun, right? Something by George Harrison nearly does, but I've got to give the edge to Paul McCartney's Oh Darling and or You Never Give Me Your Money as being, the top best song. So what does that leave us? Well, you kind of got to dip into side two a bit, and you take a look at these songs and everything, portions of songs, and this is the closest. I hope they meet the time requirements. I didn't actually do a stopwatch, but everything else is so magnificent. No, you're not going to get me to say Maxwell Silver Hammer. I don't give a damn what the rest of the Beatles thought of the song. I think it's a magnificent masterpiece. Notice the joy and the kookiness of the instruments. Bang, bang. This is a sickoid. And the music takes you into his sick freaking mind. I took that song deadly serious. And the Beatles did never give Paul his due on that song. That one almost made the best of list, as a matter of fact. I love that song. Mal Evans on the anvil. Clang, clang. Oh, God. Love it. So it gets down to either Mean Mr. Mustard or Pauline Pam as being the worst. Some of you go, yeah, well, if you weren't such a Paul freak, you'd put She Came In Through. No, sorry. That's a better song. No, these are pieces that John had together. Her Majesty definitely wasn't long enough to put on there, and I love the ditty. So it wouldn't make, even if it was long enough, it wouldn't make the worst list song. Like I said, with Abbey Road, it's damn near impossible to pick a weak track, folks. A couple of the three or four or five of these albums are impossible, but I did it for you. I really did. All for you folks. And I wanted to get a dialogue going. You know, it's time to return dialogue to freaking America. You didn't like what I got to say. That's fine, man. I don't care. Yeah, well, I care. But my hurt feelings aren't so bad that I can't take it. That's why I set up this whole channel. It's called The Bottom Line. I give you my bottom line. Then the tribe comes back to me and they give me their bottom line. That's the meaning of the name of the channel. That's what I always have tried to achieve. I just spent the last yesterday and all this morning responding to hundreds of your comments on my latest video.
Well, Eric Splitton says you can make an executive decision that there are no worse songs on Abbey Road.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness,
Yeah.
Joseph.
Oh, Joseph. Oh, it's wonderful to see. I didn't know even Joseph was in. See, Joseph, it's hard for me to get to the comments. Every one of you I don't mention tonight. Ivan Dawson, David L. Well, David L. I did mention. It was kind of hard not to mention David L. tonight. Chris Barlow, all you folks, Frank Walton, but Joseph Blue came in with a $5 super thanks, and he says this: "Let it be naked is not canon." Okay, good point. I know a lot of you believe that. Uh, Don't Let Me Down is on Past Masters, and the reason I chose to go with Let It Be Naked, and it is canon, by the way. Uh, Apple Music still makes it available as one of the viable albums you can purchase by the Beatles. It's on their playlist on Apple Music. I don't know about Spotify, so there is an argument that it is canon. They put the Beatles got both versions out, but if you were, but Joseph, you put in a $5 super thanks. So for tonight, if I had to go with the regular um, Let It Be and have to take Don't Let Me Down, oh, that's going to hurt, brother. $5 though. I'm going to do it. across the universe. How does that sound? Everybody happy now? I got to make my tribe happy, baby.
Oh yeah.
These are my people.
Tried,
These are my people. I'm telling you, I love each and every goddamn one of you. Sorry about that.
yes, we do.
I got a foul mouth. Uh, but a good heart.
Oh,
And I mean that from the bottom of my heart, folks. And I've had a wonderful time tonight. I'm sorry it took so long for me to get into the meat. I knew this was, we had tons of super thanks I had to shout out. I knew this was going to be a tough one to handle, but we got through it. And I have exactly 17 minutes to get over to the Four Horsemen. I'm going to be on a panel and continuation of Beatle um, discussions tonight. Very early Beatles, some interesting things that Royce wants to talk about on the Four Horsemen. So join me over there. All right, folks, I think I gave you value for the buck. I hope. I truly hope that. Either way, I want to say this. When I get off here, Kimberly, you know, at first you get when I first started streaming, she goes, "You got a lot of good people." And then I caught her the other night saying, we have a lot of good people.
oh my God.
You know,
Amazing.
she's taken ownership. You guys made her high chiefess, right, of the tribe. I'm merely your humble tribe master, as voted by you folks. I never took on that mantle, and rarely mention it. Well, maybe not rarely, but not often. Well, not too often. All right, folks. I love the hell out of each and every one of you. Had a great time tonight. And join me in 16 minutes on the Four Horsemen and my good brother Royce's channel, who used to be known as Royce in the House. If that's what you're thinking, oh, what happened to him on Royce now? Well, it's still kind of the same gang, but rules and regulations have changed. That type of thing, right? And so I'm going to be part of the discussion tonight. All right, folks, if I don't quit John, I'll never get going. All right, we'll see you on my next stream on Wednesdays. I always stream Sundays and Wednesdays at 5 p.m. Adjust your own local times accordingly. And blessings to each and every one of you.
Oh, yeah.
If you're feeling blue over what's been happening in the United States of America, all I can say is prayers and thoughts to each and every one of you. And never fear opening your mouth and making your point of view known. You have that freaking right. All right. See you in about 15 minutes, folks. Good night.